is going to be a really exciting game. No trade so far, guys.
Exactly. And we have this, I don't even know what the system with bishop e2 and bishop b5 check is called. I know the bishop b5 move on move 3 is the Rossolimo, but this stutter step, move 4 bishop e2, move 6 bishop b5, the delayed Rossolimo. Help me out here, guys. What does it have a name?
I don't know. I always thought of it more in the C3 Sicilian family though. But yeah, whatever the name is, it's not bad. It's not a bad C3 Sicilian. I mean, White gets a big center right now, poised to play the move D4, and Wesley trying to counter that center with Bishop B7. But the idea is Knight C3 can be met by B4, so you can't put your knight on your favorite square, but you still have a big center to write home about. And I imagine Pental is going to play Knight D2.
I like bishop d3 actually, Jen, because it's like the
Mm-hmm.
bishop f1. It's kind of strange. I made all of these bishop moves. I agree. I mean, I've wasted a lot of time with my bishop, but I really do like the c3 square for the knight very, very much in this setup. So knight
Yeah.
d2, knight
I
d2.
have I have old school thoughts. We talked about The Art of Attack by Vladimir Vukovic, and I like this idea of e5, e6 that
Mhm.
he championed, but Bishop d3, not even bringing the knight out, and it looks like he is eschewing that, but
Now
By the
remember,
way,
always
guys,
e5,
um,
e6 is on the board.
by the way, funny,
Is possible.
hilarious news in that Hikaru Nakamura, who's clinched third, he can't go down to fourth, can't go up to second. Played a very unusual opening against a JX, Jeffrey Zhang, E4, E5, and you'll never guess what he
queen
played.
h5.
No, worse than that,
Oh
yeah.
my
Come
goodness.
on, can you come up
King
with a worse move?
e2?
King
King
E2. Did you guess that, Maurice, or you peeked?
No, I looked. Of course I looked. What
It would
is that
take you a
about?
little while to. It would take you a little while. Yeah, little bomb cloud there as King E2. Hey,
What?
you know, it's a
What?
fun game now, but we can't watch
Fun.
it unfortunately.
Fun. He can't castle. He's stuck in the middle
What?
and all the pieces are developed. No, that's terrible. I mean,
What?
that feels like a mouse slip.
What?
But the thing about no, it wasn't a mouse slip. No way, no way. I think he did it
I
for his fans.
Great.
But we'll find out
Well,
for sure later. I don't think it was a mouse slip.
I agree with you, in fact, but terrible. He's just getting killed in that position.
Well, he
As he
can't castle. That's
deserves.
the problem, right? We had another game like this. It like
All right,
looked
let's
maybe he could play G3, Bishop G2, and castle and stave off disaster, but because of his interesting second move, that will never be in the cards.
We have seen bishop g5 to h4 to g3 in this crucial game between Harakrishna and Wesley. I don't like that maneuver. I like hunting down the bishop, and I like what Black has done. I like Wesley's position because his queen is ready to come to g5. By the way, d4 is also hanging. So queen e2, this last move really looked very strange. I thought g4 was necessary, but okay, it is what it is. We have g4 on the board.
Wild enough position. This is exactly what Wesley wants for the last round. And this move, g4, the d4 pawn is hanging, but the d4 is hanging, g4 is hanging. So got to be careful as Wesley about the timing of all this. And talking about time, 305 for Pentala, 330 for Wesley. He's just got to try to stay calm.
b4. Okay, that's a little bit of a surprise. b4, kind of like that construction over there. I thought it was limiting the bishop, but b4 was Wesley's plan. I thought h5 was an automatic there. Knight, where does the knight have to go? Maybe that's the problem. The knight just simply doesn't have a good square. Knight a4, knight d1. I'm not quite sure where this knight is supposed to go. I guess I have to go to a4. Maybe he's thinking of sacrificing a piece. remember earlier against Magnus, he sacrificed a knight for 3 pawns, and he was doing, I thought, quite okay. Then it became a rook.
Knight D1, H5, and now the issue of how do you defend your pawn on D4?
Mm-hmm.
Just how?
Just
because
how?
Queen E3 is met by Queen B6, right?
Right. Queen E4, Queen E3, Queen B6, D5. My queen would be, oh, sorry, B2 is hanging. I was about to say I can recapture with my knight on E3, but D5 on the board. Queen F6. For some reason, yeah, exactly, instantly, like weird. For some reason, I was really convinced this queen was going to G5, but Queen F6. Some nice dark squares.
Beautiful dark squares.
Agree?
Knight's going to go on E5, although the pawn on D5 was on take, but the pawn on A6 is also hanging. So that's something that Wesley had to be concerned about. Although I'm surprised he didn't actually take on D5 and then move his knight to defend, let's say knight C5, so he could go after this pawn. I guess he's worried about bishop C4 defending, but the D pawn is hanging.
I suppose also you could take twice on D5, but that does invite knight E3 as a tempo and a further knight F5. But here I just like the idea. I mean, yeah, the knight on E5 is strong, but I really like the idea of planting the knight on C5.
Not right now after rook C1. I would be careful. Knight C5 might allow some kind of E5 problem hitting your queen.
He's made the challenge.
Wow, he's done it, and I guess it doesn't. I guess E5 doesn't get it done. Oh, it's on the board. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But Wesley had this Queen G5 planned. Now there's an exchange sack.
But we're hitting C1. God, what does White do here?
No, but I wanted to sack an exchange. That was
okay.
That was my first instinct, to sack on C5, and then maybe.
But how do you get your queen in?
Queen E4, sack, Queen E4.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You want to do rook C5 and Queen E4.
The problem is if you sidestep you with your rook, I can't play D6 and I don't mate you. Rook C5, pawn takes, and then if you sidestep. No, just move your rook. Just move your rook, and then
That too, yeah, that bishop on G7.
And then my Queen H7 doesn't do anything.
As we've seen many a time, that queen on G7 is so beautiful. The bishop on G7, sorry.
Yeah.
So wait a second. If that doesn't work, with only 30 seconds left on his clock, Wesley has 3 minutes. Pintala White only has 30 seconds, and he couldn't capture anything. This feels horrible.
Queen takes E5, and now there's no tactics like there was before with rook takes E5 and queen takes E5 and rook takes E5. He snipped a very key pawn there in that whole sequence.
B2 pawn is hanging, by the way. So the bishop will take if you trade queens, and he just played bishop back to. I could even take it right now. What's wrong with the B2 pawn and then leave?
Well, B2 is juicy, and he's taken it. I was about to say bishop takes D5. Also, that's a very nice button as well. But queen takes B2. I was about to say almost forces rook C2.
11 seconds. 11 seconds left for Pintala, down 2 pawns. No attack anywhere. His knight on H2 is bad, and none of his pieces going forward. Wesley just has to consolidate, and he will tie Magnus Carlsen, catching him with 3 wins in a row at the finish line.
Absolutely incredible. I mean,
you challenged me.
You just gotta tell Wesley that he needs to win for first place. just lie. The standings, you need to win, and you win all these games that he drawn. Maybe he just plays so fantastically in these double-edged positions. I think you pointed it out earlier. Yes, he's almost never in time pressure, like severe, like about the flag. You don't see him get down to 1 or 2 seconds very often.
He's been very good on his time management. I wanted to say, you challenged me a moment ago. You said, what is more likely, that Wesley wins 3 games in a row or Magnus draws 3 games in a row? I would like to answer your challenge now. Wesley looks like a favorite to win 3 in a row.
That one.
Yeah. Wesley looks like a favorite at
Totally,
this moment.
totally.
to
We
win
gotta
3
eat
in a row.
crow. Yeah, I gotta swallow it and say, "Yep, that's right."
I was wrong.
He shut us all up by
But I mean,
winning.
honestly,
H.
like to me, like Wesley winning 3 in a row, he's a phenomenal player, and he amassed a big score. So that's not as shocking. But it's just rare for Magnus to draw a lot of blitz games. Like he had almost no draws this whole tournament. But what's going on here? Knight to F5 just played, and now what is this? Queen takes F4.
Yeah,
You
I
have to play
mean,
Knight E7 check, King H8,
Nothing.
and we're
flailing.
currently up a piece.
No, 2 pawns.
No. 2 pawns still.
2 pawns, right?
But that knight sitting on E7 didn't do anything. It was fancy,
Right.
but it's still
He's
just
just
2
flailing.
pawns.
Just
He's got
bishop
13
F-
seconds left.
Oh, but
and
when we play Rook E8, we're gonna win another pawn on D5, right? Maybe. Rook takes C5
I
played.
did-
What's that?
Well, it's you're giving him a little bit of a trick. I think that bishop F6
Oh boy.
first.
Uh-oh.
What? Nepo.
Nothing bad yet. Nothing bad yet. Bishop F. I was gonna say Bishop F6
Bishop C3
seemed
was played,
to
hitting the rook,
answer.
P1.
And again, I want to
get-
play Bishop F6
I want to get rid of this knight.
or Rook E8.
I
I mean,
hear you,
that
yeah.
knight is on my mind.
But he just
Yeah,
played
that
Rook
knight is-
D8.
Whoa.
And he's hitting the rook on D1. Knight G6 check played with the idea that after F takes G6, there's E7.
Wesley, did you see Wesley's face?
Pawn takes F8, Queen. What do we do?
No. You just
No,
take
we
the knight
just-
and move your rook.
Just
Move
move
the
your rook
D8
because
rook.
now we're
Yeah.
up.
No, we could play bishop D4 as well.
As
Bishop
well.
D4.
Okay, Bishop
As
D4 even stronger maybe.
But
But this
we're
was-
still
Move the rook, and the guy has to take, and you resolved all those issues. You have 5 pawns, but you're only up.
You're up 2
one?
pawns, but you also have these beautiful 2 bishops. After bishop parks itself on D4, your rook isn't participating. So it looks
I was
even
going to say
stronger than
Bishop
2
H5. Bishop H5 won back a pawn, right? But now you're going to
Now,
actually.
if rook D4, we have rook F1 check in between moves.
right.
Yeah, now it's over. We
Yeah,
would
but there's
think.
rook F1 check.
Yeah.
King H, and there it
okay.
is.
He's won.
Harakrishna.
He's
He had
winning.
resigned.
He did it.
He
did it.
resigned, and Wesley So joins the leader, Magnus Carlsen, as they tie for first in the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz. And that was just a phenomenal